Under the gray, drizzly sky of a late afternoon, a 25-year-old African-American woman named Mia struggled against the rain as she loaded her groceries into her old car. The droplets splashed on her dark red dress, soaking it with cold water, but she didn't let that dampen her spirits. Wrapped in a cozy gray coat, she kept her head held high, refusing to let the world see her frustration. Around her, shoppers rushed past, focused on their own lives, but to Mia, every little task felt monumental. As a single mom, Mia had learned to be strong and self-sufficient. Juggling multiple jobs while caring for her young son meant that even the simplest chores could become overwhelming. Despite the challenging circumstances, she always wore a smile for her son, weaving tales of bravery and hope into their evenings. Today was just another test of her determination, and she was determined to pass it. The rain fell harder, and with each bag she lifted, Mia's arms began to ache. She glanced around, hoping for a kind soul to offer help, but no one seemed to notice her struggle. Frustration bubbled inside her, but she pushed it down. Giving up was not in her nature. She was used to facing hardships alone. Just then, a figure emerged from the misty rain. It was a man dressed sharply, but with a humble demeanor. He paused to watch Mia wrestle with the unyielding weight of life's burdens. Something stirred within him as he noticed her unwavering strength amidst the storm. With a gentle voice, he stepped forward and offered his assistance, igniting an unexpected spark between them that would change both of their lives forever. The sharply dressed man who approached Mia was no ordinary stranger. He was Gene, a Korean Mafia boss known for his wealth and power in the underworld. With a reputation that preceded him, Gene lived in a lavish penthouse filled with expensive art and luxury cars. Yet, despite all his riches, he felt an emptiness that none of his possessions could fill. The thrill of the Mafia life was exhilarating but left him longing for something deeper, a true connection based on love rather than status or fear. In a world where loyalty and betrayal danced hand in hand, Gene grew disillusioned by the relationships he formed. Many were drawn to him only for his money or influence. This realization sparked a bold decision. He would step away from his luxurious lifestyle and pretend to be an ordinary man in search of genuine love. He believed that by stripping away his wealth, he could gauge a person's true intentions and find someone who loved him for who he really was. As he walked through the rain-soaked streets, Jin's heart raced with anticipation. He wanted to experience life from a different perspective, to see how others navigated their struggles without the safety net of money. When he spotted Mia wrestling with her groceries, her resilience struck a chord within him. Her strength reminded him of the very qualities he admired yet rarely encountered in his world. Little did Gene know that Mia would see through his facade as they began to connect. In those moments of vulnerability, both were unaware that their lives were about to intertwine in ways neither could have imagined, setting off a chain of events that would challenge them and bring them closer together. As Gene continued walking through the drizzling rain, he glanced around, taking in the bustling city life. The sound of rushing feet and honking horns filled the air, but his eyes were drawn to a solitary figure near a grocery store. Mia stood there, her dark red dress contrasting sharply against the gloomy backdrop, a splash of color amidst the gray. She was wrestling with heavy grocery bags, her brow furrowed with concentration as she struggled to maneuver them into her old car. Rain cascaded down, soaking her coat and hair, yet she persevered. Gene admired how she refused to give in to frustration, even as the droplets splashed against her face. It struck him how strong she appeared, even when alone in a crowd of indifferent passers-by. He could see the determination etched on her face as she shifted the bags with care, showing that she wouldn't let anything, rain or hardship, define her spirit. The sight tugged at something deep within him. In that moment, Gene realized he had witnessed true resilience. Mia wasn't just fighting against the rain. She was battling against a world that often overlooked those who struggled. Her strength resonated with him, stirring feelings he hadn't expected to feel while pretending to be someone else. As he approached her, his heart raced with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He wanted to reach out and offer help, drawn not only by her struggle but also by the spark of admiration growing in his chest. "Can I give you a hand?" he asked gently, hoping that this simple offer would be the beginning of something beautiful amid their challenging lives. Jean stepped closer, careful to tread lightly in the puddles that formed around them. The sharp scent of rain mingled with the faint aroma of something sweet wafting from the nearby bakery, but his focus was solely on Mia. Her eyes widened slightly as she saw him approach, curiosity mixed with surprise dancing across her face. "Can I give you a hand?" he asked gently, the warmth of his voice cutting through the chill of the rain. There was an unexpected softness in his eyes that made her momentarily forget her struggles. Mia paused for a heartbeat, sizing him up. Something about his presence felt different, genuine. Sure, she replied cautiously, grateful yet unsure of the kindness from a stranger. "These bags are heavier than they look." As Jean took a couple of grocery bags from her, their hands brushed against one another. A spark flickered between them, igniting an instant yet unspoken connection. She could see a depth in his gaze that suggested more than just surface-level interest. There was empathy there too. "Thank you," Mia said, her voice softer now. As they worked together to load the remaining bags into her car, they exchanged small talk. She learned that he was new in town and looking for a place to settle down. His laughter in response to her jokes felt genuine and lighthearted amidst the grayness of the day. "Life can feel heavy sometimes," Jean observed as Mia sighed while shutting the trunk. "But you carry it well." Her cheeks flushed slightly at the compliment, and for the first time that day, she found herself smiling genuinely. In that fleeting moment filled with camaraderie and warmth, both felt drawn to each other. Two souls finding solace amidst their storms. As they continued loading the groceries, Mia couldn't shake off the initial wariness she felt toward Jean. There was something about the way he approached her that made her suspicious. It was unusual for a stranger to show such genuine kindness, and her instincts urged her to proceed with caution. Yet, as they talked, she began to see glimpses of sincerity in his actions and words. Jean asked about Mia's life, subtly steering the conversation away from the burdensome details that clouded her day. "What do you like to do for fun?" he inquired, a smile dancing on his lips. She hesitated but then shared how much she enjoyed storytelling with her son, creating adventures with just their imaginations. "I love stories too," Jean said softly, listening intently. He shared tales of places he traveled. Most of them were dreams he hadn't fully realized but still cherished. Each story he told revealed layers of his personality, making her realize he was more than just a handsome stranger. He was someone who understood struggle and aspiration. As they chatted, Mia noticed how patient and respectful Jean was, even lending an ear to her simple joys and frustrations without judgment. Laughter bubbled between them as they joked about the odd-shaped vegetables she had chosen, breaking down barriers she didn't know existed. With every shared moment and smile, Mia felt the walls around her heart begin to crack. Trust didn't come easily for her, but this encounter felt different, refreshing. She found herself gradually leaning into this connection, willing to open up just a little bit more to the man who would soon turn out to be much more than a mere stranger offering help. As their friendship blossomed, Jean found himself caught in a web of emotions and secrets. While he enjoyed the simplicity of his time with Mia, each laugh and heartfelt conversation reminded him of the double life he led. Beneath his charming exterior loomed the shadow of his true identity as a powerful Korean Mafia boss, a role filled with danger and expectations that he couldn't reveal to her. Jin's days were often spent navigating the treacherous waters of the underworld, attending meetings, managing his crew, and fending off rival gangs. The thrill of his power and wealth was intoxicating, but it felt like a heavy cloak draped over him, stifling the joy he found in Mia's presence. He was determined to keep that part of himself hidden, fearing that revealing it would shatter the fragile trust they had built. When he was with Mia, he felt free from the chains of his other life. He discovered joy in the simple moments they shared, strolling through the park, sharing stories about their dreams, and laughing at silly jokes. Yet, every time they met, a gnawing worry lingered in the back of his mind. What would happen if she ever found out? Would she feel betrayed? Or worse, would she be put in danger because of him? Jean learned to balance these two worlds carefully, crafting excuses for missed calls or late nights while trying to ensure Mia never sensed any danger lingering just outside their bubble. He was falling for her deeply and knew he needed to make a choice soon, continue living a lie or risk everything to reveal who he truly was. As he watched her smile light up even the gloomiest days, He realized that if this relationship was to flourish, honesty might be the only way forward. As weeks passed, Mia and Jin's relationship blossomed like spring flowers breaking through the last remnants of winter. With every encounter, they discovered more reasons to cherish one another. Even in the midst of life's challenges, their bond deepened, revealing layers of support and understanding that seemed perfectly woven together. One sunny afternoon, they found themselves at a local park. They settled on a bench under a sprawling oak tree, its leaves dancing gently in the breeze. Mia shared amusing stories about her son's antics, causing Jin to laugh genuinely, a sound he found refreshing after the heavy burdens he carried. In turn, he surprised her with snippets of his life aspirations, speaking of dreams he had for the future, dreams that felt bright and attainable when he was with her. But it wasn't just light moments. They faced challenges together as well. When Mia struggled with finances after an unexpected car repair, Jin quietly offered to assist her without revealing the extent of his wealth. "You can always count on me," he said reassuringly. The warmth of his words wrapped around her like a comforting blanket during those tough nights when self-doubt crept in. In return, Mia encouraged Jin to pursue some of his dreams outside the confines of power and money. She loved seeing him smile when he talked about art or music. She pulled him into weekend classes where they explored creativity together. Their laughter echoed through the studio as paint splattered and melodies flowed. These moments solidified their connection further, two souls finding refuge in each other amidst chaotic lives. Despite the lurking shadows of Jin's secret life, love began to flourish between them like an unfurling bloom determined to thrive against all odds, hinting that perhaps together they could weather any storm ahead. Just as Mia and Jin began to settle into their relationship, dark clouds loomed overhead, not from the weather, but from the rival gangs within Jin's world. Word spread through the underbelly of the city that the Korean Mafia boss was acting differently, spending time in places and with people who didn't belong to his circle. This unusual behavior attracted the envious eyes of his rivals, men who were watching their territory carefully. One night, while Mia was home with her son, Jin received a threatening message warning him to stay in line. The reminder of his dangerous life hit him like a cold wind. He had fought hard to build a life away from violence and bloodshed, but now his past was creeping back in, endangering the happiness he had found with Mia. Determined to keep her safe, Jin made sure their dates took place in less public areas, where they could enjoy each other's company without drawing attention. But even in those quiet moments, anxiety gnawed at his heart. He knew the tension of his hidden enemy lurking in the shadows weighed heavily on him and on Mia. When they started receiving strange phone calls and unmarked packages that hinted at trouble, Mia grew suspicious. "Is everything all right?" she asked one afternoon, her brows furrowing with concern as they sat on a park bench. Jin quickly reassured her, masking his fear behind a brave smile. "Of course, just a little work stress." Yet deep down, he was terrified that soon enough, either he or Mia would be swept into a violent storm of conflict that could threaten to tear them apart. With danger closing in around them, Jin felt the pressing weight of his responsibilities to protect this woman he loved and ensure she never became a pawn in his dark world. Their love would be tested in ways they had not yet anticipated, forcing them to confront the truth of who they were and what they truly wanted. The tension in Jin's chest grew heavier as he stood in the dimly lit back room of a local bar, surrounded by his rivals. The air crackled with animosity, and he could feel their judgmental eyes scanning him for weakness. He had called this meeting to confront them head-on, fueled by the urgency to protect Mia and their relationship from the dangers that lurked around every corner. "You're losing your touch, Jin," one rival sneered, a smirk plastered across his face. "Spending too much time playing house with that single mom. You think she'll stick around when she finds out who you really are?" Jin clenched his fists, memories of Mia laughing and sharing stories filling his mind. Her smile was a light amidst his chaotic life, and he couldn't allow anyone to extinguish that flame. "I'm not here for games," he replied evenly, trying to mask the storm brewing inside him. "I want to make it clear, stay away from her." The rivals exchanged glances, their laughter echoing off the walls. "Or what?" Another one challenged, stepping closer with a mocking look. "You'll have to show us how tough you are." In that moment, something shifted within Jin. The fear of losing Mia surged through him like adrenaline. He stepped forward, locking eyes with the man before him. "You don't know what I'm capable of," he warned, his voice low but steady. Just then, a familiar face appeared at the door. Mia's worried expression sent a wave of panic through him. She had come looking for him, unaware of the danger she was walking into. "Jean," she called out nervously, her eyes darting between the fierce men in the room. In that instant, all thoughts of power and rivalry faded. Jean knew he had to protect her at all costs. The stakes were higher than ever, and now their love was truly on the line as they faced an uncertain future together amidst rising threats. After a whirlwind of danger and uncertainty, Jean felt an urgent need to solidify the love he had found with Mia. One evening, as the sun set in a brilliant display of oranges and pinks, he planned a special outing to a quiet lakeside picnic spot where they had shared some of their closest moments. The atmosphere was tranquil, with gentle ripples lapping against the shore, but inside him stirred a tempest of emotions as he prepared to reveal his true self. As Mia arrived, glowing in the soft twilight wearing her favorite dark red dress, Jin's heart raced. He saw not just the woman he loved, but the unwavering spirit that had drawn him in from the start. Together they spread out a blanket and enjoyed a simple meal as laughter mingled with the sounds of nature around them. After sharing stories and gazing at stars that began to twinkle overhead, Jean knew it was time. He took a deep breath and turned toward Mia, his voice trembling slightly with vulnerability. "There's something I need to tell you," he began, his eyes searching hers for understanding. "I haven't been entirely honest about who I am. There's much you don't know about my life. My past is complicated and dangerous." Jean paused, wanting to gauge her reaction. "But none of that changes how I feel about you." Mia listened intently as he spoke of his struggles within the Mafia world and how every moment away from violence led him back to hope embodied by her love. When he knelt down on one knee, producing a delicate ring from his pocket, tears glistened in Mia's eyes. "Mia, will you marry me?" The silence stretched for what felt like eternity before she finally whispered, "Yes." In that beautiful moment under the stars, their hearts intertwined even tighter amidst life's storms, a promise to face whatever challenges lay ahead together. The day of Mia and Jin's wedding dawned bright and beautiful, a stark contrast to the storms they had weathered together. As she stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her lace veil with trembling fingers, Mia glimpsed the reflection of a woman transformed, not just by the love she felt, but by the strength she had cultivated through hardship. Today marked a new beginning, a celebration not only of their love but also of their resilience against all odds. Jean waited anxiously at the altar, dressed in a sharp suit that complemented his chiseled features, an embodiment of determination and commitment. He had faced threats from his past, but here he was, ready to step into a future defined by love rather than fear. As Mia entered the venue, adorned in her stunning white dress that flowed as gracefully as her spirit, a hush fell over the gathered friends and family. Their eyes met across the aisle. Jin's heart swelled as he took in her beauty and grace, knowing that every unconditional moment of support they shared had brought them to this sacred point. Each step Mia took toward him was layered with promises, the promise to protect each other from their pasts and forge a new path together. The ceremony itself was filled with heartfelt laughter and tears, weaving together stories from their lives that showcased how far they had come. When Jean spoke his vows, his voice trembled with emotion as he promised to stand by Mia's side through thick and thin, realizing that love was a powerful anchor amidst life's inevitable chaos. As they sealed their vows with a kiss under an archway of flowers symbolizing hope and new beginnings, guests erupted into applause. In that defining moment before their loved ones, Mia and Jean knew they would face whatever challenges lay ahead together, with love as their guiding light, a testament to how strength can blossom even after enduring darkness.